I guess I can. So we're gonna move again. We're getting a little bit more strict with the lightning talks now. You had some great ones last night. When we talk about time, and Einstein tells us that time is not fixed. So we think of you're gonna get 5 minutes. 5 minutes in a dentist chair seems like a graduate degree. 5 minutes in great conversation can go by very fast. 5 minutes slowly can turn into 40 minutes and you don't know where it went. I had a good friend, professor at Stanford, who talks about his brain plasticity, the neuroscience, and talks about this common phenomenon what people report when they have life-threatening experiences. They report that time slows down for them. This is a very commonly talked about phenomenon. And what he'll tell you is that that's how it's did. Time doesn't slow down. Yes, when someone yelled during your life-threatening experience, did it sound like this? Oh, no. They actually sound. But what happens is, it imprints, because it's a life-threatening experience, it imprints lots and lots of memories on your amygdala. And so when you, in recall, you say, look at all these memories I can recall in that very short time. That's it. Now, I don't know if this helps any of our lightning speakers. You get 5 minutes. That's the way it goes. So think of this as, intellectual espresso. You have a small cup, high impact, over your pass. Okay? So we're going to move straight to Damien. Damien.
Sorry. Okay, no, sorry. How's everybody doing? Okay. So I passed out a few postcards. I'm gonna be talking about my camera app. It's called Black Terminus, and it's a few samples. So if you scan the QR code and point it to the art that's on the postcards, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. Alternatively, while we were waiting, I was able to add a augmented reality experience to the brochure that just explains what I'm doing, because I feel like I'm going to run out of time. So what is the first thing that you do when you see a fantastic piece of art? For me, is I just take out my phone and I take a picture. It doesn't matter if it's in a gallery, if it's on the street, or if it's in a fine art space. I'm always going to take out my phone to do that. But imagine if instead of simply taking out your phone, your camera can open up the picture to a new dimension. My name is Damien McDuffie, and I'm from Oakland, California. And in 2019, I walked into a museum in Thailand, and I saw just that. I saw this idea of blending blending digital art with still images and figuring out ways to bring stories from that. Imagine if you take a camera and you point it to a mural and it was able to be turned into a movie, or a book and able to be turned into a cartoon. That was the question, or the thing that I was actually looking to find. When I came back from Thailand, one of the things that I noticed that creating augmented reality is very, very hard. I spent about a month on meeting, watching this 20-minute tutorial. It took me about a month to actually build my first augmented reality app with Unity. I spent another 6 months just kind of learning what does it mean to put an augmented reality app together, what are the technical things that you need. And then I just took some of that know-how and talked to people who can do a little bit better than me about building a platform. But I didn't want to build a platform that was for engineers. I built a platform for people who already knew how to create this medium. I wanted to build a platform for people like me. So when I was in Thailand, I was actually looking at different museums in Tokyo and Thailand, because I was the archivist and curator for the Black Panther Party Museum in Oykhman. And we were looking for ways to kind of integrate digital elements into the art. When I saw that you can kind of blend these two things together, I really wanted to figure out how people like me who are more creative, more curators, can also participate in this space. And by doing that, or coming to the question, or coming to the problem with that, idea, I got with some folks and tried to figure out how can we create what we like to call the Canva of augmented reality creation. So using drag and drop, using ideas like Google Drive. If you're able to use Google Drive, our concept, like you should be able to use our platform. So right now, anybody in the world can download the Black Terminus mobile app. All they need to create an augmented reality experience at the very base is just the photos and a video. They just upload that image into our database and they're able to create very quickly. This is very important for people who are creative, who want to get into the space, who like to see what the end result is before really kind of digging into the details and things like that. We good on time? Okay. What we really wanted to do is just make sure that we had something where your skill set or the amount of money that you had to buy certain classes and gain the skills to kind of learn how to do this wasn't the main barrier. I spent the first year developing Black Terminus, going all over the world to Tanzania, to Dakar, to Brazil, and putting the technology in the hands of people who are artists, who are mostly been creative just on their own, and just figuring out what are the things that are gonna allow them to create more easily. And 5 years later, our whole development and the way that we work is really using a suite of mobile apps, things that are free, things that are accessible, going into the streets, going into workshops, going to different places, and teaching people how to use the technology. On the grand scheme, we really focus on our hackathons, which is bringing together artists and designers, Miami, Oakland, New York, other places, and figuring out ways how we can develop the next generation of Black creative technologists. Thank you for your time. Good stuff.